So I just want to talk about, the 9 to 5 workplace, things dealing with, the job and the context of having to go to work as a responsible adult. The things you might have to deal with, and one of those things you may have to deal with, whether you like it or not, is adjustments, having to change. You may start a job to where you like the schedule. They guaranteed you a certain schedule, for example, let's say 8 to 4, 8 to 5, something like that, or 9 to 5. But now, let's say a couple months in, they trying to ask you, oh, can you come in earlier? Or can you jump to a second shift, a third shift? I'm not gonna say most jobs do that, but some jobs will do that on you. They will throw a curveball at you, man. They will blindside you with something drastic, a drastic change. And the reason why it's drastic because you done built a certain lifestyle around this particular schedule that you came in with. You're comfortable with the schedule. You know what to expect every day. It's routines, the same thing every day, whether work is a drag or not. At least you know what it is. You're complacent, you're comfortable. And now all of a sudden they want to come to you with, oh, can you come in at this time? And can you come in at that time? Da-da-da-da-da. That's just an example of things you might have to deal with in the workplace. That's, outside of just, the whole thing with the coworkers being toxic and all that stuff that I typically speak on. That's something else. And as an adult, that's just life, man. You learn that just with any aspect in life. Things happen in life to where now you got to adjust to the change. Something might knock you off your particular schedule. Now you got to deal with this new thing that's added to your life or taken from your life. And you got to get used to that. Used to the transformation. So just expect that anything can happen. I mean, you got people that get laid off, man. Of course, a schedule change is not something a lot of people want to be on board with. But if you got to do it, you'll do it. Some people, they like, F it, man. They go ahead and get a different job. Matter of fact, the job I'm at now, they got me coming in 9 to 6, which I've been coming in whenever I feel like it for the past couple of months. It's a laid back job. I come in early so I can kind of get off early if I feel like it. And if I want to stay till 6, then it's a little bit overtime for me. You know what I'm saying? But technically, right, my schedule will be 9 to 6. Let's say Tuesday through Saturday. Not a bad schedule. You get Monday off. You get Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. And now the temp agency that sent me out to this particular place, they was trying to get a couple people from my shift to switch over to the Sunday through Thursday shift. I mean, it may sound like nothing, but that's a big change, man. Like I said, you done adjusted to this particular schedule. I mean, you're used to your schedule. You're comfortable with it. You're expecting Sunday and Monday off if you're on that particular schedule, the Tuesday through Saturday schedule. Now the temp agency they technically was threatening, if people don't want to volunteer to switch the schedule, then we're gonna terminate people, da 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 da. And then you had some of the workers, they was talking about like, yeah, man, I quit, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how serious that is. People just be talking until shit hit, really hit the fan. You need a job and shit. But some people really stand on business. Like, hey, I don't want to come to work on Sunday, da 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 da. I'll quit. Some people they stand on business, man. Me personally, if I had to do it, I'll do it, man. But of course I'll be mad, but it ain't the end of the world. But that's just an example. Adjustments. You never know. Everything going smooth. You're happy. You're at peace with the schedule that you got with your 9 to 5, and boom, now they want to come. It's always something, man. Like, it always be something. And then some people, when they see you like shining, they see you doing good for yourself. They see that you ain't really letting things get to you. And then sometimes people want to try you, whether it's the spirits, the universe, or some kind of bullshit ass test. It could be something deeper behind it. But sometimes just the individual being an asshole, just want to try to knock you off what you got going on. And try to see, how you gonna react, how you gonna handle this. Yeah, man. So that's just one part of the 9 to 5 workplace I want to touch on. And then, of course, I'll talk about coworkers, not your friends. Of course, don't open up too much, don't be too vulnerable to where you're an open book for all to look at, to look at all the pages of your life, what you got going on, your personal business. Don't be opening up too much to your coworkers at work. I mean, the only exception is like if y'all really, really solid and y'all really hang with each other for real. I'm talking about a real friend. I mean, you can look up the definition of a friend. Most people at the job or the workplace are not a friend for real. You know what I'm saying? It's just an acquaintance. You might get along. It's not like they're villains or bad guys, but y'all might just get along. You know what I'm saying? But y'all not necessarily friends. You know, if you needed help paying the bill, all these motherfuckers gonna come in and chip in and help you get that bill paid. Or they gonna, you know, if they had to watch your badass baby kids, are they gonna take time aside to watch them motherfuckers? You know, feed them Capri Suns and animal crackers. Nah, man. But you know, people they confide and they trust in these people, and they just go on and on. They rant about their personal life, you know, child support issues, personal issues at the house with the spouse, you know, the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the kid, all that. They don't, you know, they just drive me crazy, don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You telling them you got touched when you was a kid and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of that, it'd be stuff. The reason why people do that because a lot of people are lonely. A lot of people, they don't have nobody else to talk to or vent to. So the minute somebody just show just a little bit of interest in what you got to say, it's like it's just upping the stuff from there. It's 0 to 1,000. You just get to talking, yakking it away. You know, and in the moment, you're not really realizing you're just handing these people, and I always call it like ammo. You're handing them ammunition, ammo. And they might not turn around and fire back with the ammo that you gave them. They might not do that today. It might not be tomorrow. But eventually, down the road, man, they could just look at you one day and just not like you. They just start going behind your back, spewing gossip, just talking noise about you. Everything you done told them, now they got all the access to everything you done told them. There's no limits. They can spread it like wildfire in the workplace, just telling people stuff. They can take it as far as taking it to the office, the management. You know, some coworkers, just because they your fellow coworkers and they clock in the same time you clock in, don't mean they ain't cool and kissing ass with the boss and the managers and supervisors and team leads and stuff. Yeah, man, they probably be hee-hawing in the break room with them, in the offices and stuff with them, and you telling them stuff, all your personal business. Now they going back and running like a coyote to the motherfucking boss, and oh yeah, so and so said this, and some of y'all are talking shit about the managers and stuff, not knowing these people are kind of like this, or they kind of like wishy-washy. They two-faced. They for the regular common workers, but at the same time they for the bosses too. So they going back and telling the management stuff that the regular workers is gossiping about. Yeah, you got people that do that. I've seen it with my own two eyes. You know what I'm saying? One moment they acting like, and it's crazy because they'll talk shit behind the boss back to you, but then they be cool with the boss. You see them like hee haw. I know y'all see this, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all right now talking to stuff like, yeah, that's right, yeah. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. They'll be talking about somebody to you behind their back, and then you think, oh, that give you the green light to talk about them. You know, getting you all comfortable, all buttered up, and now they getting information and they know exactly how you feel about that particular person. One day, if they want to turn on you, they could go ahead and tell that person y'all was talking about. They could tell them what you were saying. You know, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. We can all sit here and say it's wrong, but you can't stop a motherfucker from running their mouth. Hey, it's on you at the end of the day. Some people just gotta learn the hard way. You know, you gotta learn the hard way. It's really best to keep the gossip and energy and the spirit out of your system in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? It's already bad enough deal doing that with family, but you know that's gonna happen with family. You can't stop that. You know, half the time family ain't shit anyway. But the co-workers, man, you definitely don't want to put your job at risk or have people giving you the side eye because somebody that went and said something or told somebody something that you said, even if they agreed. You know, they going around telling them what you said. Now you look like Evil Knievel, fucking Madame Zodoni looking ass in the workplace, looking like a villain. You know, looking like Medusa in that motherfucking workplace. Everybody looking like, oh. But you know what I'm saying? You a cool person. You just made the mistake of trusting the wrong people, man. And it's really best to go into the workplace neutral. You don't gotta be, you know, iRobot and that motherfucker, mean-eyeing everybody. But you want to be neutral, man. Be cordial enough to where people, because you know people will gossip about you just for being quiet, man. And then people done did videos and topics about this. I done spoke about this in the past. People will gossip about you just for being quiet, for being a mute motherfucker, for being an introvert in the workplace. You can't even go to work and just be quiet and get your work done without motherfuckers trying to brew up a storm against your ass down the road. Yeah, man, you know the whole saying, you try to stay away from trouble and trouble still end up finding your ass. Yeah, you'll go through that just being a quiet motherfucker at the job, at the workplace. That's crazy, man. And it's just something you can't control a lot of times. Some people can get away with it. Some people, if you kind of got that chosen energy on you, man, you a certain type of individual, you kind of special. Hey, it's just, I ain't gonna lie. Some things, some demonic energy is just gonna try to find its way to you. And you just gonna have to handle it accordingly. How you gonna do that? Hey, nah, I'm playing. Don't do that. But it's best from the get-go, man. Just be neutral. I say just speak when spoken to. You know, be cordial. Hey, good morning. Not all that bullshit. How you doing, man? And keep it pushing. Because you got some people, they just miserable. They miserable outside of work, and they can't wait to come to work. And they just trying to find somebody just to nitpick at. Just especially if they got that bully spirit in them. They trying to find somebody they could just assert that bullying spirit onto or against. Yeah, man. Yeah, especially the women. Women, man, like these older women. You got some older miserable women in the workplace, man. And men too. Men ain't no better. They trying to find somebody they could bully and just harass. They never grown up mentally. They still immature and they still bullies, man. You got bullies in the school system and you got bullies in the workplace system, man. The 9 to 5, it breeds bullies as well. Because people are miserable with their life and they come to work and it's the only time they probably interact with motherfuckers. So they want to spread their nonsense and their misery amongst the people that they you know, deal with at the workplace. And if you're a particular individual, they feel like you ain't got a backbone, you're a pushover. It's different type of individuals that can bring out these bully spirits against them. So see, some people they just don't like you for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I can understand because we all had somebody in our life we just know not to interact with. That happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's people at my job. And I'm cool. I'm neutral with people. I'm probably more cordial with certain people than others. But I understand deep down inside, ain't nobody really my friend for real. Even if they say they're my friend, I might even, I ain't gonna lie to you, I might even repeat it. Yeah, y'all my friend, da-da-da-da. Not everybody. It might be a couple individuals, a bad bitch or something like that. But I know deep down, man, y'all ain't my fucking friend, bro. They ain't my friend. I'm just, kind of being on the good side or whatever. I ain't kissing ass, but you kind of being on the good side. Like I said, just being cordial, trying to keep the good energy. I come to work, man. I ain't trying to be dealing with no toxic energy at work. I don't want none of that. But anyways, you got people at the job, man. They looking for people to harass. They looking for people to bully and all that stuff, man. And just by you staying to yourself, that can draw a certain type of energy to you, man. Just for minding your business. A lot of y'all have done been through this before, and it's crazy, man. But yeah, so that's something else you gotta deal with in the workplace. So how to go about, let's say, because at the workplace, you're forced to be around people. So you may have to interact or communicate with somebody you really don't want to interact with. You can sense the bad energy. You done heard stuff about them. And you just been watching them from a distance. You don't like how they carry themselves. You don't like how they move. You're like, dang, man, you might be paired up with this person. Some things you just can't avoid, man. I say, man, for the most part, man, just limit your interaction, man. Keep it very, very specifically work-based. Keep it work-specific. Anything, conversation, anything that come out your mouth, you respond to it work-related. If they talk about personal stuff, you shut that shit down. And don't talk about nothing too personal, especially with these particular people you really don't want to be interacting with, man, because you feeling this intuition for a reason, and it may be true. You might be on point. Something might be telling you in your gut, like, man, I don't trust this motherfucker, man. I don't like how they move. I don't like how they operate. Yeah, man, you ain't tripping, man. Her or him, whoever, he, she, they might be really on some bullshit, man. So, hey, keep your guard up, especially around them people, man. Some people are genuine, but you got some people that's really like, you could just feel that bad aura, the bad energy when they're around. I'm talking about, man, I had people at work talking to me, literally giving me headaches, excruciating physical ass headaches, migraines, skull piercing ass migraines, just from being around these motherfuckers, just hearing them talk. got my damn just nerves all over the place. Just I don't know what it was. It just maybe just the bad energy just radiating off of their ass. I'm like, man, I can't. I'm talking about people just gossiping, every time they open their mouth. Like, I can understand. Don't get me wrong, we human beings. I can understand a little bit of tea. What y'all like to say? I need some tea. Girl, give me the tea, girl. You know, a little bit of tea every blue moon. I can understand. Da 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 da. But goddamn, every time you open your fucking mouth, you got some goddamn tea. You talking about somebody, you gossiping about somebody, you talking about some drama, you talking about somebody back. I'm talking about, bro, man, I done seen, man, people just, every time they open their mouth, they complain about something. Like I said, we human beings, I get it, man. Everything in life ain't fair. It's gonna be people you don't like. It's gonna be things people do that you don't like, and you might want to vent to somebody about it. But damn, man, you talking about every time you open your mouth, it's complaining and gossip, bro. These people will give you headaches, bro. Like, you might have to be forced to be around these people, man. I say, man, just don't feed into it. Don't reciprocate the same energy. Don't return the same energy. Don't be gossiping with them, you know, because when shit hit the fan and shit get back to the person they talking about, you don't want to be guilty by association. It just be like, yeah, okay, wow. Anything they say, wow, for real, yeah, wow, yeah, wow, that's crazy. Damn, for real, that's all I do, for real, yeah, wow, okay, wow, okay, you know what I'm saying? Or you can, hey, old classic trick. I tried this back last year. Some dudes at my job talking shit about the boss and stuff. And they told him to get off his phone and stuff. You know, young dude, young, emotional, light-skinned ass nigga. You know, and I'm just like, you know, he was like, all right, you know, we spoke every now and then and stuff. But he was somebody I don't really care to really talk to like that. He just coming to me, man, you tripping, man, he was some bullshit, man, da 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 da. I can tell you anger issues. Hey, give him a Bible verse, give him a Bible scripture, man. Hey, they'll back off your ass real quick. Hey, that's a good repellent right there. That's a good repellent. You know how the roach spray repellent, it get the roaches away. But yeah, just bring up a scripture or a Bible verse. Even if you ain't even on that type of time, if you grew up in the church and this, you know, rooted in your soul in the background somewhere, you remember some scripture somewhere. Just throw a scripture out there. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, man. Don't let the boss get to you, my brother. they gonna back off from your ass. They gonna run for the hills from your ass. You know, they'll do it subtly. You know, it ain't gonna be right away. They gonna just slowly, you gonna see them slowly start to distance themselves from you. So that's a good little trick you could use, man. But these are good little tips, man. I hope you enjoyed this video, man. I know this message is entertaining. It's realistic, man. It's authentic. And there's so much stuff to talk about when dealing with the workplace. You gotta deal with people you don't want to be around. You gotta interact with people you don't want to talk to. But it's work. You gotta go to work, do what you gotta do. You gotta clock in, and you know, and maintain a good production, whatever job you doing. And that might have to deal with dealing with people. You might have to be a people's person in that particular job. If it's that uncomfortable, I ain't gonna lie. You're just gonna have to do, you know, the last resort is find another job if it's that bad, you know, or see if you can go to a different department. You know what I'm saying? Some people just cause havoc everywhere they go. It's just that one person in the workplace nobody really want to talk to or be around. You might have to deal with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That'd be that bullshit, man. But that's what life will do sometimes. They put you in a situation where it's gonna test you. See how you gonna go about, you know, dealing with the situation. You got people asking you for car rides and stuff. You might got somewhat cool with somebody at the job, but you ain't trying to see them outside of work. You ain't trying to be mingling with them like that. But they might try to use you for a car ride, you know. But you know what I'm saying? It's just certain things I say, just kind of nip that shit in the bud from the get-go. If you don't want to entertain it in the long run, don't even entertain it in the now run. You feel me? You know, if it's somebody you really feel like you ain't gonna want to talk to like that, limit your interaction. Like I said, keep it work related. Don't even talk to them unless you've spoken to. Don't even say good morning to them unless they say good morning to you. Don't walk around looking like a menace or nothing like that. But just kind of like make it, play it off. Act like you don't see them or whatever. And they say good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning. Keep it short and simple. Keep it pushing. Some people get the gist of it. Now, some people don't catch on the social cues. It might be a little awkward or whatever. Some people, you might just have to hurt their feelings. Hey, man, look, I don't want to talk to your ass. Get the fuck out of my face. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, hey, it be like that sometimes. But anyways, man, I'll probably do a part 2, man. Y'all hit me, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever, man. And I'm out.